Hello students, welcome again. We have done effect of temperature on three states of matter. Today I am telling you effect of pressure on different states, that is solid, liquid and gas. Remember students that effect of pressure is maximum in case of gases and it is least in case of liquids and solids. Sometimes if we apply pressure on gas, it gets converted into liquid, and sometimes gas, if excessive pressure is applied on the gas, it directly changes into solid. Here I am giving you examples of that also, like carbon dioxide. You all are knowing it exists in which form? In the gaseous form, no? So if excessive pressure is applied on the CO2 which is in the gaseous form, it directly changes into solid. And solid carbon dioxide, if you remember students, we call it as dry ice. It becomes very cool, temperature decreases as we are increasing the pressure, and thus this dry ice is also used for refrigeration since it is very cool. That's why ice. But why we are calling it dry ice? What is the reason? Because if you are taking normal ice and if you keep that ice on your palm, it wets the surface. गीला कर देती है हमारे palm को, या जिस भी surface पे हम रखते हैं normal ice, वो गीला करती है जब melt होती है. But this CO2, as it is kept open in the atmosphere on or on your palm, it directly changes into gaseous form, and thus it is not making the surface wet. गीला नहीं करती. That's why it is called what? Dry ice. So solid carbon dioxide is dry ice, which is obtained by excessive pressure on gaseous CO2. And if pressure is released, it directly changes into gaseous form, solid to gas, and the process is called sublimation. We have done it. Like I am taking petroleum gas. It is in the gaseous form. If pressure is applied on this gas, it is changing into liquid form, which we call as liquefied petroleum gas. Don't call liquid petroleum gas. It is liquefied. We are applying pressure on the gas and thus it is getting liquefied. So it is liquefied petroleum gas. Similarly, natural gas we are taking. As pressure is applied, it also gets converted into liquid form, and that is called compressed natural gas. Is it okay? So what we have done, that if pressure is applied on gases, they either changes into liquid form or they get solidified. Okay. Now here I have given you a flow chart also. Liquid, when pressure is applied, no effect. Solid, pressure when applied over it, no effect. But gases, they are getting maximum affected by pressure. So this is all we have done, students. Now I am coming to the last topic of this chapter, and that is evaporation. I am telling you, students, this is very important topic. One question will be definitely there in the exam from this evaporation topic. So what is this? From junior classes you are doing evaporation terms, students, and all of you I think are knowing that changing liquid into gaseous form is called evaporation. But here I am adding one more sentence, that at any, I have underlined this any, at any temperature, changing of liquid into gaseous form at any temperature. Like if you are keeping any liquid at room temperature, like water if you are keeping today, next day you will find less quantity of water. Why? Because some of the water get evaporated. So changing of liquid into gaseous form at any temperature is called what? Evaporation. Same as the case in boiling, students, that changing of liquid into gaseous form. But there is some differences in boiling and evaporation. Here I am writing liquid changes to gas, but this take place at a particular temperature. In case of boiling, particular temperature is required. Like if we are taking the case of water, water boils only at 100 degrees Celsius, that you are knowing. So every liquid boils at a particular temperature. So boiling takes place at a particular temperature. But evaporation, as we are doing, liquid changes into gaseous form at any temperature. That is called evaporation. At any temperature, 25 degrees Celsius, 30, 40, 50, 60, any temperature, this evaporation can take place. Room temperature is 25 to 27. So that at that temperature also evaporation is taking place. And due to evaporation only we are getting rain. You are knowing that also, no? So this is the difference between boiling and evaporation. Particular temperature and here any temperature. Next difference I am taking in between boiling and evaporation is boiling is bulk phenomena. What do we mean by bulk phenomena here? I will tell you. But evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Surface phenomenon meaning, suppose in a beaker if you are filling water, only the molecules which are present on the surface, upper layer. So what you have observed that in case of evaporation, only the molecules which are present on the surface are getting evaporated. As the molecules on the surface get evaporated, other molecules from inner side comes on the surface and then they get evaporated. So evaporation is a surface phenomenon. But in case of boiling, if again I am taking liquid in a beaker, here the molecules which are present on the surface, they can boil, as well as the molecule which are present in the bulk, in the inner side, they can also boil and get converted into gaseous form. So I am repeating, boiling is a bulk phenomenon. Inner side molecules also get evaporated, also get escape out into gaseous form. But in the case of evaporation, only the molecules which are present on the surface are getting converted into gaseous form from liquid. One more difference I am telling you between boiling and evaporation. Boiling do not produce any cooling effect. What do we mean by cooling effect? Boiling, as we are taking that it is taking place at a particular temperature, like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, it will not provide any cooling effect. Only the hot air, vapors, steam comes out. So it is not providing any cooling effect, it is providing heating effect. But here, in case of evaporation, it is providing cooling effect. I am giving stress. Evaporation produces cooling effect. How? I am proving it. Suppose if you are keeping petrol, if petrol is not available, acetone. Acetone, what is acetone? Acetone is actually nail polish remover. Chemically it is acetone. Nail polish remover, if you are keeping on your palm, so when you keep this acetone or petrol on your palm, you feel cool. Actually what is happening there? If you are keeping petrol on the palm, it get evaporated. Nail polish remover, as you are keeping on your palm, it get evaporated by taking heat of your palm, and that's why your palm feel cool. So evaporation produces cooling effect. Nowadays summer is going on, you sweat very much, and after that when you sit under the fan, what happens? You feel cool. Why? Because the sweat from your body is getting evaporated, and that's why you feel cool at that time. Another example, like mint, polo, you are aware of that. Glucose, when you keep on your tongue, then also you feel cool. That is also due to evaporation. Very interesting topic, earthen pot. If you keep water in earthen pot, it cools down. But it will not get cooled in case of steel container. why in earthen pot water becomes cool? Again the answer is evaporation. How evaporation is taking place? Earthen pot matka. Earthen pots contain small pores in them, and through that small pores water get evaporated, and thus that water is getting evaporated by taking heat of the rest of the water present inside that earthen pot, and that's why the rest of the water becomes cool. So evaporation is responsible for making the water cool inside the earthen pot. In summers, due to the heat of the sun, ground becomes very hot. If we sprinkle water on that hot ground, it readily evaporates. How the water is evaporating that you are sprinkling? By taking the heat of the ground. By taking the heat of the ground, that water evaporates and the ground becomes cool. And now whatever air comes from that side becomes cool. And you find it like a breeze. I am taking one more example, students. Hot tea in a saucer cool down readily than in a cup. Why? Because in case of cup, less number of molecules are getting evaporated. Because surface area is less. Surface is less. But if you pour down that tea in saucer, more number of molecules get evaporated, and thus cooling effect take place more cooling effect is taking place. So that's why if we are in hurry, we used to pour hot tea in a saucer. So more is the evaporation, more is the cooling effect. In case of cooler, as you all are using coolers nowadays because of very much heat, so why we feel we get cool air from the cooler, not from the fan? Find out the answer of this question, students. In the next video, I will tell you otherwise. And with that, I will take one more, and which will be the last topic, that is factors affecting evaporation. Till then, students, bye-bye.